Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, and we have a little sneak peek for episode 18 titled Find Me. We have another table read, as well as some images from the episode, and then also a brand new character who we're going to be talking about. So a lot of cool stuff about this episode. I'm very interested in this episode because it looks like Carol and Daryl are going to be having some issues in these 6 episodes, and I'm very interested in seeing what their arc is gonna be like for the last bit of The Walking Dead, because they are getting a spin-off, and we do get some dialogue between them that kind of tells us a little bit about why they would get a spin-off. So we're going to be discussing all of that in this video today. Really exciting stuff. Before I do get into it though, obviously general spoiler warning. Also, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos. But other than that, let's get into it. Alright, so getting into the table read, we can see the cast here. We got Melissa McBride, Norman Reedus, Kari Payton, and then Lynn Collins. Lynn Collins is playing the new character whose name is Leah. Kari Payton is narrating, so the scene is mainly between Carol and Daryl, and then we get to see the new character Leah at the end there. So let's get into it. So it starts off near Alexandria, and it looks like Daryl is headed on a little like journey or scavenging or something, but basically he's getting ready to get on his motorcycle, and he sees Carol with a backpack on. Carol says she's done with her part of the day, but she wants to come with Daryl. But it looks like there's some sort of tension between Daryl and Carol. Like they probably got in a fight from earlier, because Carol says like, I want to help, whatever is left to hunt out there. And Daryl says, try not to talk the whole time we're out there. So again, I think there's something that happened between them. And this is episode 18. So I don't know if we're going to see that something in episode 17, which is the premiere, or we're going to see it earlier in the episode. But there seems to be some sort of tension between them. They also include some images from the episode. We can see right here, Daryl, he's out in the woods. We can see Carol here as well. And then another shot of Carol in the woods. So I believe they're just scavenging for supplies, just to pick up from what happened in Alexandria and the hilltop. And they're going to talk more about that in just a second. So then they go near a cabin. This is like a later scene, and then near the cabin, Carol and Daryl are talking. Now again, everything I'm saying is just paraphrased. These aren't the exact words, but it's essentially what they're saying. So Carol asks Daryl if their luck has run out, because she mentions that they lost Alexandria, but Daryl says they haven't. Carol then goes on to say, maybe not yet, but it feels like whatever good left is in this world isn't on our side anymore. So when they mention they lost Alexandria, I think they may be referring to Beta's horde of walkers, because remember, they went to Alexandria, but they had left. So I'm assuming Beta's horde of walkers probably destroyed a lot of stuff in Alexandria, and they're trying to rebuild, because Daryl then says, we rebuild, we start over. And then Carol mentioned something, which is what I meant earlier when I said that it kind of sets up the spin-off, or like the idea of the spin-off with Carol and Daryl. So Carol says, until it happens again, we had a good run, but we know this world, the dead will catch up to all of us eventually. So that is a really interesting line to me, because this is another conversation between them about how they keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is, beat one villain, then the next villain comes, and then they beat that villain, and the next villain comes, and they just keep doing this. And I remember back in season 9, before the Whispers came, when they were dealing with the remainder of the Saviors, Carol and Daryl had that conversation again. They included some more images. You can see here, we have Daryl in the woods with his bike, and then we have one of Carol and Daryl sitting. And this is probably where they're having that conversation. So very similar to that scene back in season 9, if you guys remember, when they were talking about how, we just keep doing the same thing. And I think it might have been Daryl who suggested the idea of getting on his bike and just leaving. Obviously they didn't leave. But I think all of that is really important, because we do know now that there's a Carol and Daryl spinoff coming to AMC. Now, they haven't said if any other characters are included in this spinoff or it's just them, but if it is just them, then maybe they do go through with that idea of leaving. I mean, it probably will happen after the Commonwealth because the spinoff is happening after season 11, but they do bring up a great point that they just keep going from villain to villain to rebuilding to villain to rebuilding. And I do like how they are aware of that. And, I think when they get the chance to leave, if they want to explore something else, and I think this may tie into the Rick Grimes movies and the CRM, I think that, and they might want to go and check that out. I think they'll take that chance because it's something new. So yeah, you can see that there was some tension between Carol and Daryl there, but they're going to be friends. I'm sure they're going to be fine. Just probably a minor issue between them, but they're still friends. I mean, obviously they're gonna get a spin-off together, so I don't think it's anything that serious. All right, and then the next scene we have Daryl. He's getting near a cabin and he sees some walkers surrounding the cabin. So he goes in, he kills this walker that's inside, and then somebody throws a walker arm at him and he ducks, and then he gets up. And he sees that there's a woman holding a gun on him. This is a new character, Leia. We can see the image right here of her that they released with the little sneak peek. She's in this cabin, and she's holding this shotgun at Daryl, and he has his hands up. So Leia then asks Daryl, who are you? Daryl doesn't really say anything, and she repeats herself, and Daryl just says I'm leaving, and then Leia says, no, you're not. And just keeps the gun on him, and then that's when Kari Payton ends the narration by saying that Daryl is trapped. So it doesn't look like Carol's around here. She may be outside, or she just might be on her own or something. But yeah, it does look like Daryl's in some trouble here. So this seems like a pretty interesting character. It looks like she seems pretty strong, well suited. You can see her belt that she has some knives there. She has a shotgun on Daryl. She seems pretty demanding. So definitely interested in seeing what's up with her, whether she's on her own. I mean, this far into the apocalypse, it seems pretty unlikely that we see people on their own. And another thought that I had was, what if she's involved with the other character, Robert Patrick's character, who we saw in the Aaron and Gabriel sneak peek. That would be interesting if they are part of the same group. I wouldn't bet on it or anything like that, but just a thought, because she could be on her own. We do see a lot of people surviving on their own, that's for sure. And I'm kind of thinking about it because I'm thinking if they would introduce another group, right now when they're introducing the Commonwealth, would they give us another group, or will they give us just little characters here and there that could join our group? You guys let me know, what do you think about that? And here is another image that they released of her. She seems a lot more calm in this image. She's just sitting, but I don't know if this is part of the episode, or it could just be a picture of the actress while they're getting ready for a scene. But yeah, she does seem a lot more calm in this image. You guys let me know, what do you think about this character? It's tricky for me to determine whether she's going to be on her own or she's going to be part of a group. But that is a little interesting that they're introducing two new characters who are not just I think they're actually going to be characters who we see for more than one episode. This character Leia, and then also Robert Patrick's character. So they could be part of the same group, or they could just be people who join the group. I mean, I'm sure Daryl will be okay. He's gonna survive the situation. But they're rebuilding right now. So I think actually if they are rebuilding, Daryl mentioned that earlier, they could use people to help them out. So I wouldn't be surprised if these are people who are just on their own and they invite them back to the community. I think it's definitely possible for them to join the community, because with the Whispers, they took out a lot of people. They took out a lot of major characters and just characters in general. So our numbers are down, and we're dealing with the Commonwealth next, which is a big group. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do want to introduce some new characters. So we have Leia, played by Lynn Collins, and then we also have Robert Patrick's character. Again, you guys let me know, what do you think about them? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're on the same part? They're part of the same community? You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. But it does look like we're getting some new characters in these 6 episodes. Another thing I wanted to quickly discuss is that in the synopsis for this episode, it mentions that Daryl finds a cabin. Here, I'll go ahead and read it real quick. It says, an adventure for Daryl and Carol turns sideways when they come across an old cabin. It takes Daryl back to the days when he left the group after Rick disappeared, as he relives the time that only the apocalypse could manifest. So this is the cabin that is in some way going to remind Daryl of Rick. I would be surprised to see if Leah has anything to do with it. I mean, I don't think so, because Daryl doesn't even know who she is. But I think this may be some cabin that Daryl was in before, when he was out looking for Rick, because there was in the narration from Kari Payton, it said that there was walkers surrounding the building. So I mean, he could have gone in there just to scavenge, but I mean, if there's walkers surrounding a building, I don't know if you would want to go in there. So maybe he went in there because of something Rick related, and then he met this woman. So yeah, just quickly wanted to bring that up because it does look like this cabin in this episode is gonna have some connections with Rick, which I'm pretty excited for, to see how it reminds him of, or how it reminds Daryl of Rick. But there you guys go. That was a little sneak peek we got for episode 18, Find Me. You guys let me know what do you think about all that. Very excited for this episode. As far as this video goes, I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I hope everyone is having a good and safe holiday. Happy New Year's, everybody. Please stay safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.